Okay, we're about to start our post-race media availability for today's Firekeepers Casino 400, and we're joined by the winning owner and fourth-place finisher in today's race. That's Brad Keselowski. Brad, second consecutive win for RFK Racing, second consecutive really strong race by the number 6 car. I'm sure you're feeling good. Please tell us how good.
Yeah, it's been 2 great weekends, and I'm just thrilled to death for our company. There's a lot of people really just working their guts out and trying to push and work within the limits of the rules and regulations, but not leave anything on the table, and at the same time just executing at the highest of levels, whether it be on pit road or restarts or whatever else it takes. And I'm happy for them, their efforts getting them the results they deserve, and but also keeping our head down. We got a lot of racing left in front of us. We're now in a position to have at least one car fully locked in the playoffs, and realistically, both cars are probably locked in the playoffs with today's results. So that's super exciting. Not officially forward, don't get mad at me, but realistically. So we're pumped for the way this weekend played out. This was not a track that I thought we would come to and have a significant level of success given what we've seen throughout the rest of the year, but the team did a great job adjusting on both cars and making them faster. And at the end of the race, my car was just a rocket. I think we went from 10, 11 seconds back from the lead to 4 or 5 there by the end of the race, and I was hoping we could have another 20 or 30 more laps because I think I could have got all the way to the front. But the team did a great job across all aspects, and we're getting those results. So thrilled for Chris, thrilled for our team, and just a big weekend for us overall. Big 2 weekends for us overall.
Excellent. And to your point, if you score 54 points next week, you're officially clinched. So in a good spot.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open up to questions for Brad.
Only 54?
Only 54. You need to do that in the next 3 races.
Yeah.
I think you'll do it. We'll start over here with Lee and then move about the room.
Lee Spencer, catchfence.com. I've known you for a long time, but and I've got a lot of respect for you, but could you have imagined coming into this season and pulled off what you did? I mean, I can't imagine what Jack must be thinking, seeing the 17 in victory lane 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, the highs are high and the lows are low over here. We had a lot of lows last year, and it's nice to have these high marks. I don't take them for granted. They mean more to me, probably because of how big a struggle last year was for both teams, and probably even more specifically for me. And I'm thrilled for it. I know the work that goes into it, and on all aspects, I'm thrilled for every department of our company, from the marketing side through all of competition. And we've come so far. We still have a long ways to go to get to where I want us to be. But we're building some really strong momentum with these wins, and I'm just as curious as anyone else to see where it goes from here. I try not to have expectations for good or bad. I just try to do our best and see what that plays out to on the field.
I mean, it's not just one car; it's 2, so it's not a fluke.
Yeah, I mean, both cars the last 2 weeks have been exceptionally strong, and I felt like Chris was a little better than I was last week and executed at a really high level and knocked it out of the ballpark with a win. And this weekend, I think I was probably just a little bit faster, and the race went his way, and he executed really well. That's what it takes. And the 19 car Martin Truex, no slouch, I can tell you that. I'm sure you guys already talked to him, but he was a rocket most of the day, and for Chris to be able to hold him off is really impressive.
We'll stay up here to Bob.
No problem, Lee.
Bob Pockers, Fox Sports. So do you think I'm curious just as far as like pitch strategy and everything, you feel like Chris worked that better than you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we scored the stage points, right, in stage 1 and 2, and we were counting on the race going long and then getting yellows at the end, and we just didn't get the yellows. So you just don't know how the races are going to play out. With the speed we had, if there had been yellows at the end, I think we could have, won it honestly. It would have been a good battle between the 19 and probably Chris and I, all 3 of us. But that's not the way the race played out. I mean, shoot, at the end, we were running 37.80s, and I think the leader was running 38.0s and teens. And I think the 11 car was running third, and he was somewhere in there too. So we had a good 2 tenths on the field, and that was super exciting and fun to be a part of. But it didn't play out with the yellows that we needed to re-rack them. So that's how it goes sometimes, and you just you can't be upset by them. You play the cards, and they don't always go your way. But I was really happy how both teams had the strategy covered today.
And what does it do, like confidence-wise, mojo-wise, to win at a place like Richmond and then come back and win at a place like Michigan? Not exactly similar
absolutely,
tracks.
Bob. I mean, significant differences in the tracks. And, when we sat down and I think looked at the next 3 weeks ahead of us 2 weeks ago, I would have said that we'll run okay at Richmond, top 5, top 10, and we'll come to Michigan and we'll probably run 10th to 15th, given how Kansas and some of these other mile and a halves have gone. And then we'll go to Indy and be very, very strong. And so I'm tickled to death that we're as strong as we were this weekend and last weekend, and looking for big things in Indy off that momentum. And I know Chris is one of the best road course drivers in the series, and last year he probably deserved to win that race and caught some terrible breaks, but he's going to have a heck of a shot next week, and I'm happy for him.
Go here.
Tyler Kuehl, MLive.com. Brad, obviously a great run for you and your team here at RFK, but also being a big part of getting a car in victory lane here in your home state at your home track of MIS. What does that mean for you, and not just yourself, but also your team?
Yeah, I'm probably still digesting it, Ty, to be quite honest. I was really caught off guard because, I didn't foresee us being able to win here this weekend. And honestly, at the end of the race, both cars had a great shot at winning. And that's a real pleasant surprise, to be honest. I'm still not scratching my head on how we got there, but I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. But in the end, we just found good speed and executed and did all the right things. Like I said, we had the strategy covered on both ends. If a yellow came out, we were covered with my car, and if the race went green, Chris had it covered with his car, and it's good to see that.
Come up here to Larry Taylor, and then here.
Larry Leitch from AP. Now that both your cars in, can you be a bit of a fan of the sport and just look at the next 3 races and, some big names trying to get into that spot and how good it is for the sport that you've got, a lot of intrigue?
Yeah, the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to get more and more wild. Chase Elliott's a heck of a road course racer, and I know Hendrick Motorsports is going to come loaded for bear for him the next 2 races. And then you got Daytona to finish off the playoffs, and if Daytona wasn't already a madhouse, can only imagine it now that you've got all these prestigious drivers that are just below the cut line and going to lay it all out on the line. So, not just the next 3 weeks, the next 13 weeks are shaping up to be really big for the sport. But, in the short-term picture, the next 3 weeks are going to be their own storyline. So I think that's one of the things that makes NASCAR special is how many different storylines there are throughout the field, right? And I think we're really seeing that this season.
Go over here, Taylor.
Taylor DeSarmo with MLive.com. Obviously, this is a track you've wanted to win at forever, being your home track. So in victory lane, what were the emotions like for you? Being there, finally earning it, but as a team owner, not a driver.
Yeah, it's a different feeling. I'm glad to be there no matter what the circumstances. I want to be there as a driver, don't get me wrong, but being there as an owner is phenomenal as well. And, like I said, I'm still soaking it in with all the mixed emotions of, hey, man, I was so fast at the end. If I just could have got any kind of breaks to go our way. But then also just thrilled to death for Chris and his team and everybody on it.
Steven Stump, Frontrush.com. Brad, as you said, you're not going to wonder, how you guys found the speed, but with, several mile-and-a-half tracks, obviously it's not exactly the same, but with how good you guys showed up here, do you think that those will be kind of more of a strong suit as we head into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, if our cars run like this at Kansas and Vegas, Vegas, Texas, Homestead, oh, man, we've got a shot of going really deep in the playoffs. So that's really thrilling. Those are 4 big races for us. And so to show this kind of speed, that's a big statement.
We'll wrap it up here with Lee.
Brad, you spoke a lot of Buescher last week, and think of him at 30 years old and just coming out into his prime. What do you see as, his long-term growth? Because he seems like he's there and finally has the equipment to do something and show his talent. But what do you think the long-term potential is?
Well, when you say long-term potential, all I can think of, what do you think he needs to change? And right now, nothing. You don't change anything. He's at his potential, and I don't know what more we could ask of right now. He's out there winning races, executing in all aspects, not tearing equipment up, not getting in trouble in the media or any of this other stuff. Like, I mean, what more do you ask for out of the guy? I guess there's always something I could pick him apart on, but if there's any advice I'm going to give him is don't change anything, just keep going, right? And we're really proud of him, Lee.
Brad, before I let you go, can you please just give your opinions on Ford being the owner of the team that earned the Heritage Trophy for Ford,
Yes.
their 9th consecutive victory, NASCAR Cup Series victory here at Michigan.
Yeah, well, when we come to Michigan, there's some really loud knocks on the door from OEM side of, hey, you've got to find a way to give all you got here, and I think the teams all dig down deep, but more than that, I think a lot of credit to Roush Yates Engines, Doug Yates. He brings all he's got too, and we didn't show the speed in practice or qualifying with any of the Fords, but in the race, boy, did it show up, and I got to give Doug and his team a lot of credit.
Great. Thank you, Brad.
you.
Congratulations on the victory.